Yo, 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 what up, man? Welcome to Mezzo Forte Sports. That's right, Bar Talk with the super fans. We're chilling out with the crew. Who do we have in today's edition?
Yeah.
It's going to be a little short crew today. It's like the song says, it takes two to make a thing go right. So we got our fearless host, Danny BMD.
Yo, yo, yo. Yeah, all day.
And me, of course, your amateur hype man, Super Fun Art. We're going to talk a little bit of sports, South Texas style. So, without further ado, take it away, Dan.
Yo, yo, yo. Yo, what up, everyone? How's everyone doing today? Welcome to Mezzo Forte Sportz. Coming to you live from San Antonio, Texas, to your ears. Providing some sports time for your free time. What up, this is your host, Danny BMD. How's everyone doing, and how did your team do this week? So, like Super Fun Art was actually telling, today we do have a little bit of a shorter show. We're gonna,
recording in progress.
A lot of you guys are probably watching some NFL, as you guys can see. The NFL NFL headlines is actually up. Mr. Superfan Art feed is showing what the Cowboys need to do in order to go ahead and defeat the Bucks, which is feed the Zeke. But that's neither here nor there. We'll go ahead and talk a little bit more sports. Ask what you guys think about the current situation of the sports world, and kind of go from there. But just like without further ado, again, just want to give a quick shout out to everyone watching today. If you're watching on Twitch, Facebook, or YouTube, thank you so much, guys. Definitely, want to give you a great thanks and a quick shout out to the fans. If you do want to get on, let me know. Get on the chat. We got you. So as we kind of go ahead and move real quick forward, well, actually, did you want to do some Diamond Talk real quick?
Yeah, I could give just a brief summation of how things are going in the baseball world. I mean, football aside, you cannot ignore baseball, especially now that we're in the home stretch for postseason coming up in a few weeks' time. So I'll just get into it real quick. Some American League leaders, everything updated as of today. Currently, in the American League, you got the Tampa Bay Rays up ahead in the East, Chicago White Sox in the Central, and once again, our Houston Astros are still hanging on. They got like a 5.5 game lead against the Seattle Mariners. So hopefully the Astros could keep winning, or Seattle keeps losing. The wild card for American League, it's been a pretty tight race. You got Boston Red Sox currently in the number one spot with barely just half a game ahead of the Yankees, who are currently at the cutoff. And looking out, trying to get in, you got the Toronto Blue Jays are just 1.5 games behind the Yankees, and the aforementioned Seattle Mariners are just 2.5 games. So that wild card spot is anybody. It's for the taking. Every game here is pivotal for the positioning. Just to look at the National League, you got the Atlanta Braves, currently leaders in the East. Milwaukee Brewers, definitely leaders in the Central, and your San Francisco Giants are leaders of the West, just 2.5 games ahead of the Los Angeles Dodgers. I know at one point the Giants and the Dodgers were tied for the leader of the West. So that kind of plays into how things are going in the wild card race with the Dodgers. The Dodgers are easily, then if they don't get the leader spot, they pretty much the wild card leader because they're 13 games ahead of the San Diego Padres, who are at the cutoff. Cincinnati Reds are just 1 game behind. They can catch up. And the Philadelphia Phillies are just 3 games behind. So very easy to catch up. I know if you're not watching football right now, there's some pivotal games going on this evening or happened afternoon through the evening time, including the likes of a Dodgers-Cardinals matchup, Chicago White Sox versus the Oakland A's, Toronto versus New York Yankees. That should be a great one. And the Braves and the Nationals. Like I said, all of which have playoff implications for spots being moved. Just a few headlines to note about. The New York Yankees have placed their right-hander Jameson Taillon on a 10-day injured list because of a partial tendon tear in his right ankle, while the reliever Zach Britton is unlikely to pitch again until 2023 after undergoing some Tommy John surgery, according to their own manager Aaron Boone.
Oh.
Uh, so Boone also explains that Talon he felt some discomfort in his ankle towards the end of a start this past Monday when he pitched a 3-run ball over seven innings in a 8-0 loss to the Toronto Blue Jays. Uh, since then, he has had a platelet-rich plasma injection this week. That's a tongue twister, and he's been walking on a
For
boot.
real.
He's been walking on a boot ever since Wednesday and Thursday.
What is that?
What a platelet-rich plasma injection, or what?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I'm not a doctor, Danny. I'm sure it's something to help speed up recovery, or speed up recovery. I mean, 10-day injured list,
Mm.
platelet-rich plasma. I mean, I know there's some benefits from plasma donating.
Yeah.
I just can't really. It'd probably be in more of one of your sister's field of expertise. What platelet-rich plasma benefits can do in an injection.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
per-
But more than anything, it's for recovery. Like that's what he's using it for, or whatever, right?
yeah, it's strictly for recovery purposes.
Yeah.
Totally legal. Hopefully, they want to try to get him settled with by the time they reach the postseason. Wherever they land, I'm pretty sure the Yankees will make the postseason, so they'll definitely need him back. So we'll continue to monitor his progress until that time. That's pretty much most of the headlines I had to cover for our Diamond Talk. Going back to you, Dan, in the studio.
Yeah, of course. In the studio. Yeah, no. And I know we're gonna have a little bit more um actual more of our fans, actual fans, a little bit more contributors, if you will, for Diamond Talk as Dosco comes back, and also I do have a couple friends that are actually gonna come on as well. As we move right into real quick into or just like major uh headlines in here. Um, super fan art. Like, did you see any? I guess we'll do like a little bit of a college football before we do our general headlines. Did you see any college football?
Yeah, there's quite a bit of storylines to look forward to this upcoming weekend in the college football realm. Some notable games to watch out for. The week starts out with tomorrow. You got a matchup in the evening, 6:30 versus number 17 Coastal Carolina versus Kansas Jayhawks. It should be at least interesting to see some football on a Friday evening.
Yeah.
Something to knock back a few beers or eat some wings after a long work week. But then the main games are obviously a Saturday. In the morning time, 11, you got number 12 Oregon Ducks versus the number 3 Ohio State Buckeyes. At 2:30, you have the Texas A&M Aggies versus Colorado Buffaloes. Pretty much an old rematch of Big 12 opponents. You got the Battle of Iowa. Your number 10 Iowa versus number 9 Iowa State at 3:30. I'll elaborate a little more on that one shortly. My Longhorns, 15.
Here we go.
Number 15 Longhorns are going to be playing against their old rivals, Arkansas. At one point, Arkansas was part of that old. I mean, before even the Big 12, it was the Southwestern Conference.
with Nebraska, whatever.
Yes, Nebraska.
Like they were like their counterpart, if you will.
Yeah, it was definitely a rivalry, from the 90s until Arkansas, split. But I mean, even in the years past since, there's been interesting games. It's Southern states versus one another. That'll be around 9:15 in the evening. There's also a matchup, the Battle of Utah. You got number 21 Utah versus Brigham Young, BYU.
Here we go
BYU,
again.
they're always dark horses, at least in that state. Speaking of BYU, they're also in contention to maybe get inducted to try to be in the Big 12 later on. And then in the evening, you got Stanford and number 14 USC. Not bad. USC and Stanford. Stanford's always a sleeper. I mean, they got smart college athletes, but they're also great athletes. I think some of the likes of which is what's his face, who was retired, Andrew Luck. Andrew Luck,
Yeah, Andrew Luck. Yeah.
Stanford. Stanford, they got a good football program, so don't sleep on them. So just to elaborate on one of the games I mentioned, for the first time in the 67-year game history of the series, both Iowa Hawkeyes and the Iowa State Cyclones will be ranked when the rivals meet at Ames. It's 4:30. You can watch that on ABC. They're both in the top 10. The Hawkeyes jumped from number 18 to number 10 this week after crushing Indiana 34-6, while the Cyclones dropped 2 spots to number 9 after escaping Northern Iowa 16-10. So the Cyclones will face an Iowa team that has won 12 straight non-conference games and 4 straight games against ranked teams. And while Iowa State's Brees Hall is one of the nation's most productive running backs, Iowa has allowed just 2.8 yards per carry since the start of the 2020 season, third best in the country in that span. So it seems like Iowa State's uh, unstoppable force versus Iowa's immovable object. Should be interesting to see that chess match play out.
I like it. Should be awesome.
It definitely should be a game worth note to watch. Uh, Another one, yeah, like I said, is that Ohio State, Oregon. It's around noon. You can catch it on Fox. Ohio State's QB, CJ Stroud. Stroud's debut against Minnesota was a good one this past weekend. He completed 13 of his 22 passes for 294 yards and 4 touchdowns, just 1 interception. But there was a noticeable pattern that Oregon might try to take advantage of. So Stroud, he's pretty much at his best by a wide margin when he throws towards his left. Stroud, he's 7 of 9, 204 yards with 3 touchdowns, no picks when he throws towards his left side. Something pretty much they've know Oregon, the Ducks, they'll notice, they'll exploit. Definitely don't be surprised if you see Oregon trying to make an attempt to try to beat them going anywhere but left. Uh, and just moving on, next game, South blah, 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 Arkansas. Yep, Texas, Arkansas should be a good one. Don't have much to elaborate on that. Teams meeting for the 79th time, so they definitely know each other history-wise, uh, making this the most played rivalry in Arkansas history. Damn, I don't know. I knew Texas had a lot of enemies, but I guess a lot of enemies think they're rivals with us.
Exactly. I was gonna say.
Just 5 of those games have come back since the Razorbacks left the Southwestern Conference in 1992. I told you it's from the 90s. So while the Longhorns they lead that series 56-22, Arkansas is three of two against Texas in the non-conference games. Uh, so yeah, I mean they're definitely them pigs from Arkansas. They're not to be taken lightly. I'm not sure who's the home team in this one. I didn't really look at that. But you know me, I'm definitely going to be representing. Looking at another performance by Coach Sarkisian, his offensive-minded plays, and our one of our star running backs, Robinson. See if he has another back-to-back good game. So hook him. I'll be looking forward to that one. That wraps up anything. Do you have anything to add for college?
No. I mean that's pretty much. I mean you're pretty much on. I think that the Longhorns are gonna just keep on being successful. They just need to really start building up like their identity a little bit more. Start running the ball. Throw the ball. To get a little bit more play action going in there and just get a good defense. Just kind of settled. At the very beginning. They played a pretty good team. They play another pretty good team. I think it's a good build up to going into the season, especially going like when they play OU. That's gonna be a really good game to watch. Especially Sarkisian if he continues kind of with his success there, how he is right now in Texas. especially like because in college football, it's a little. I feel like the coaches matter a little bit more than like college or than like pro. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like everyone wants Belichick or would prefer Belichick or Andy Reid or something like that, right? Um,
Yeah.
the Cowboys would kill to get one of those coaches or whatever, right? But I think that it still matters like the talent and stuff. Andy Reid was forever there until he got who Patrick Mahomes, and so it's just one of those things. And we're in college. I mean, obviously we could easily pick Nick Saban, right? Pick on him, because he's easy to kind of talk about. But if you think about it, it's and not just him, but like the college champions, or the ones that at least been to the playoffs. They've had really good coaches. So you can kind of, and obviously the recruitment and stuff like that or whatever, right? That matters as well.
Yes.
Usually not at the beginning, but as the years go on, because at the beginning they're not your actual. I mean, not your class, but they're not the class that you yourself recruited. But what do you think about all that?
No, it's the college coach is definitely more important than a coach from basketball or even in the pros in football. Uh, Pretty much they're in charge of the ship. They're steering the ship. They're helping with recruiting, going to people's, go visit players and their families and sell them on their programs, and instill some trust with, like, I have a great program here in blank state university. Your son is going to have great world class education, but most importantly, he'll be safe under my watch. That's a level of trust. These parents sometimes they won't let their players, excuse me, they won't let their kids play for somebody they don't trust.
Yeah, true
It's like,
that. Yeah.
because essentially it's like, this guy is looking after my son. He's looking after his well being. He won't, yeah, he'll work him, but he won't, he'll make sure he's, well taken care of, injuries aside. But like you're saying, they also have more, the college coaches have more say so with how their assistant coaches pretty much, when, for example, when Steve Sarkisian went to Texas, uh, almost all of the assistant coaches from the previous administration, they left, save for a couple, because I need my staff, guys I can trust. I know they're going to my system. Uh, so definitely, they're paid a lot of money for a good reason, because there's so much responsibility and so much weight carried for the position. Pretty much billions, a $1 billion industry, and the whole school, you know, it wants results quickly. So if you don't do that, they'll find somebody like the next year or two. Uh, so definitely high pressure, but also a lot of power. So it's got its pros and cons in the college league. Uh, just going back to the Texas Arkansas game, uh, if and when Texas does go to the SEC, whether that be in the next few years or in 2025, you know, maybe
Yeah.
they'll regularly be meeting up with Arkansas, right?
I was like,
Arkansas is part of the SEC.
I was
There's
gonna
a good
say,
warm
yeah,
up round
yeah.
or a good preview of some of what's to come in the next few years when they do join the SEC.
And I
So
think, and honestly, I think as much as the SEC hates to admit it, they're gonna, they're gonna, they're gonna get a lot of benefit from getting Texas, bro.
hell yeah,
Like they just are. It's like the Cowboys. If the Cowboys are good in football, the world or the state of football itself is good. It's just one of those things, you know. Like the Lakers, as much as I hate them, not that I hate them, I just don't like them, because they're just rivals. If
yeah,
they're good, then the NBA is good. The West is good. It's just it sucks, but like as much as I always advocate for smaller markets, the bigger markets do still have to thrive. You know,
hmm
like New York, like the Knicks. I mean, dude, they're going crazy. Like, oh, give us the Durant. Like, calm down, dude. Beat the Hawks first. But
yeah,
that's besides. But you know what I mean? Like,
No, yeah,
so
and just adding to that, adding Texas and Oklahoma. Don't forget Oklahoma.
yeah,
Those two teams alone, like
yeah.
chingas of viewership. Ratings are going to go up. Television spots are going to magically open. Of course, someone's going to want to see, you know, Oklahoma versus like South Carolina or Texas in Mizzou,
Florida, Texas,
Texas,
Florida.
Florida.
Damn.
Bam, instant
Yeah.
Fedia, prime time,
Yeah, that is super prime time. Or like,
and
even the smaller teams like Kentucky, UT.
yeah,
Like that's still a game I would go to. You know, so it's just. I mean, as much as people can be Longhorn haters or whatever you want. Like they move the needle. Is just a market mover, and but I think it's a good thing. For just college football, for at least for UT, start getting a little bit better and actually winning. You
yeah,
know what I mean?
and in closing, I think I mentioned, weeks ago that even before Oklahoma and Texas were trying to move to the SEC, like the SEC was already in negotiations to have exclusive rights of having their men's football, basketball, and women's basketball strictly aired on ESPN. Like ABC and CBS probably won't get any SEC games after like 2020 something. So that's definitely more
There we
money for
go.
the SEC because now they can bargain like, hey, we got Oklahoma and Texas now. We need to restructure that contract because definitely people are going to want to watch ESPN more than the other networks.
Yeah, exactly. Because I mean, everyone's gonna be right now in battling of trying to get all the as much viewership as they can, trying to see who's the better network. But
Right.
yeah, we'll see how that turns out.
Yeah, definitely a lot of great games, and we'll have we'll talk about those results maybe more on Tuesday.
Yeah, so definitely we'll go right into actually just our NFL since we are getting talk about NFL. Just do some NFL headlines. So I know that we did NFL headlines. We did talk a little bit about what I think I was telling you earlier before the show started. Just like as the Cowboys, obviously the Bucks and the Cowboys just did start today, or starting right now. Is actually they're playing actually as we speak, which is a inaugural start of the NFL regular season. Obviously, we're pretty excited. We're all excited to start seeing that. And I don't know, as super fans, we're obviously really really glad, really excited to finally see an actual full, I think like a full played out season. I feel like obviously COVID is gonna have effect because it's just gonna be one of those ongoing things, but at least it's gonna be a little bit more controlled. Where like what is it, like 8 Patriots players didn't even play last year, like dude, so I don't know, pretty excited about that. As we start the Cowboys versus Bucks, just a kind of couple facts in here. So Cowboys guard Zach Martin is actually still in COVID protocol. Did actually will miss the season opener. He didn't play today. He's not playing. So the quarterback Dak is looking to get his first contact and throw since missing all of last year on injury, and including this preseason, he didn't get a chance to actually throw the ball. And the Bucks have all 22 starters coming back for season. Tom Brady is actually looking to start his campaign and the Bucks towards their back-to-back championship. Last team to do so, Steelers. They did it twice in the 70s. So, it's pretty cool. We'll see if they can actually do that. So yeah, so Superfan Art, what do you think? I guess we'll go right into like the season opener, Cowboys and Bucks. I know we're kind of watching it on and off and stuff like that, but just like your general, what is it that the Cowboys need to get out of this, and what is it that the Bucks need to get out of this? Obviously, a W is the obvious answer, but besides that, what knowledge, experience, what is it that they need to kind of learn or start focusing or exercising um, during this game or just like for the season moving forward?
Right. Well, I'll just preface this with, I'm a Cowboys fan. See me wearing the Zeke jersey. Unfortunately, my opponent on Fantasy Football League, he's got Zeke and kicker Zerline, so it's like a double edged. Like I'm happy and sad at the same time because they're generating points that are beating my team. And I got Antonio Brown on my bench. Stupid, stupid mistake. But I've liked what I've seen so far in this current game. I won't elaborate because it's still ongoing. Uh, some things that need to be done for both teams to succeed. I mean, win or loss, there's lessons that need to be learned and experienced. I know Dak, he pretty much didn't even have a preseason, so to speak, because he was temporarily injured with like a thumb injury or whatever, or the ankle. I don't know. Uh, so far, he's looked like he's played for like 12 weeks already. He's definitely more confident. Uh, I guess he knows that he doesn't necessarily need to run as much as he used to. I don't know if it's some hesitancy there, but definitely he's controlling the field with his arm more than his legs. So I like that. I know some of our crew agree that quarterbacks are measured more with their arm strength than their leg strength.
Yeah.
Uh, Zeke was pretty horrendous in the previous season with stripped balls or drop balls, especially when it comes to goal line stands. So obviously more confidence for him that he can run like he used to, like a beast, and not have to worry about the football security. Our receivers, we got a great receiving core with Gallup, Lamb, and Cooper. Yeah, with that trio alone, like I don't see how why we can't go into the postseason. We have all the talent. It's about leadership now. McCarthy needs that leadership. I don't know what the hell we had as the his name Jason Garrett, the old coach. Fuck that guy.
Uh, he's isn't he with the Giants? I think he's offensive coordinator of the Giants.
Well, as a head coach, he was pretty much Jerry Jones' puppet rather than a leader of the team. So now we got somewhat of a leader in McCarthy. Some would disagree. I think he's an upgrade at least. And so Dak and McCarthy are both, inspiring their team. Defense. Cowboys have never been known much for their defense. We got that young buck. What's his face? He was doing pretty good in the training camps. Pretty much our first round pick.
CeeDee Lamb?
No. On defense.
Parsons. Micah Parsons.
Micah Parsons. That dude's hungry. He definitely wants to get in on each series. Doesn't want to be benched at all. I like that he's got a good work ethic. Hopefully he brings some much needed pressure that we need from our defensive men. So going to the Bucks, I think all they want is just to not get complacent. Yeah, they won the championship. They're playing in front of a sold out home crowd. Apparently it's like 500 and some bucks for the nosebleed tickets. I think some of the tickets online were like almost 1,800. But they got to stay hungry. I think I heard when you're the champs, you're not as hungry as you were previously, and now pretty much you got the target on your backs. So everyone's going to be striving to want to beat you.
Yeah.
So they need to just find the motivation to continue on their sustained success. I don't see why not. They returned like a good portion of their roster from last season, and they got some old dogs, the Gronk and Antonio Brown, and they got some new dogs. Can't really elaborate on who, but Brady, he's definitely defeated Father Time for some reason. I don't know what the hell eating regimen or working out regimen.
He defeated Father Time. I love it, dude.
I think he had like some blood transfusion with like Paul Rudd in the off season because he always looks younger, feels younger. So Brady, I don't think Brady has anything to work on except just to continue being the leader of his team.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think each team needs to improve on?
I mean, obviously the Cowboys, they need to. I think that they need to rely a little bit less on Dak because they're obviously going to rely on Dak a lot. But I think Zeke just needs to step it up and just help start, uh, start helping out. Just become an actual weapon where like you're dangerous enough where Dak can start actually playing, getting some play action, open up the field. You have CD
Yeah.
Lamb, you have Amari, you have ¿cómo se llama este? Gallup. Um,
And you got a pretty reliable tight end in
I,
Schultz
I was gonna
for
say,
the
and
short yardage.
I was
I
gonna,
think they should utilize him more often.
I was gonna say, and also, yeah, and also, a tight end. They actually, I think, well, I know they use Schultz more, but just in general, if they're gonna throw the ball, that's fine. People are like, oh no, you can't think and dunk or whatever. I mean, dude, dude, you know what the name of the game is? Get yards. If you don't like
Yeah.
it, stop it. I mean, I but if that's the way they win, if that's the way they go on to get yardage, get first downs, and Dak can rush a little bit. So, um, they have a really good offense. The defense obviously is lacking a little bit. I still think they have a pretty good D or D line, or like at least a front seven, at least serviceable front seven. I think Micah Parsons is what's up, dude. I think he's what's up. I think he might actually be like a little Mac type of player, like for real, for real.
Yeah.
But I think he's gonna he's obviously gonna need help. I think the Cowboys should get a look to get a good either good corner, good corner, good safety. I don't know about I know they're trying to get the guy from was it? I think he went to Seattle. Jamal Adams? No, safety. Am I thinking about the right person? Hold on,
I
hold
don't
on.
know. You got me.
Yes. Jamal Adams. So he got like he got like a huge contract. And they're saying like, oh, they should have gotten him or whatever. He actually said he'll go to the Cowboys. He wouldn't mind it. But I don't think he was worth it. And I'm kind of advocating for the uh Cowboys fans, which I never really do. So I guess be thankful for that. But I think what the Bucks need is just consistency. Like you're saying, when you win, it's not the same type of fire. But I think Brady would is perfect for that type of environment where he can be like, all right, guys, the first one we're like, no one believed in us. Our backs were against the wall, but now people are like, oh, well, was that just a COVID year? Was that a COVID championship? You know, like, or I don't know how he would word it, phrase it, or frame it, or whatever. But it's Brady. I'm sure he'll find a way. But point being, where I think all the Bucks need is just to stay motivated, and stay
Hmm.
consistent, and just like kind of find ways as hard as it might seem, find ways to get better. Because like some guy I was seeing on radio, it's like, yeah, you might not like, oh, I don't, why do I need to get better if I already won? Well, yeah, but some other guy is thinking like, well, I'm gonna get better than that guy that won,
Yeah.
and so he surpasses you. So we're like, I don't need to get better, I'm good. Like, no, because now the guy that you beat just got better than you.
Yep.
So it's like
You
one of
can't be
those.
cocky.
Yeah, so it's like one of those ongoing things where like it's hard to be number one, and it's twice as hard to stay there, you know. So, and then just like not just in general, just like in any position, but especially with the Bucks, since they're like in just a very very good position. I mean, not only to just win their division, not just their and their conference, really. I mean, I don't see anyone just beating them going to the Super Bowl, honestly. Um, so we'll see how that kind of turns out. What do you think?
Well, I mean, in the NFC, you either got to go through Brady or you got to go through Aaron Rodgers in the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, but I still think, Packers and Bucks. I mean, I guess we'll have to see how the season starts or whatever, right? Goes on. But
Yes.
I don't even think it's close, dude.
Well, I mean, they have a chip on their shoulder in Green Bay after how they exited the postseason last year by, you know, the stupid coach not going for it on fourth and short, give Brady the ball back, and they never see the ball again. So that's been stewing up. Emotions have been rising all summer long. So they got something to prove over there in Green Bay. Uh, so they're hungry. I mean, they got it's now or never because who knows if Aaron Rodgers wants to stay beyond this season. So it's do or die for the Green Bay. Uh, so they're dangerous. The, I'm not saying they get their backs to the wall, but they're mad. They're going to play mad, and definitely they got their sights set on Brady and the Bucks for a little bit of revenge, and they don't care who gets in their way on their way to that revenge game.
Yeah, no, and I agree. Like, I think that it's just gonna be very interesting how like the season plays out, especially for the Patriots, dude. Like just like kind of just thinking just around the league or whatever. I don't know. I feel like I point out specifically the Patriots just because Mac Jones, the Cam Newton thing, and more anything because we're just just talking about Brady. How like now Belichick is kind of like, hey, pues, was it you or was it Brady? Because Brady already won a ship over here. Like, what's up? I mean, I don't think it's fair. Honestly, I don't think it's fair. Because, like, I mean, dude, they got Gronk and Antonio Brown. Like, bad and Brady. Like, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. I mean, dude, this is...
It's good defense, too.
Good defense. JPP. I mean, JPP played like he was, like, 10 years younger. Like, with all 5 fingers.
Stupid. Too soon?
No, too soon. But no, he plays with a glove. No, but I mean, I think that it's gonna be a very good season. I'm super excited, super glad, and especially like with the fantasy football, which we'll talk a little bit about. I think it's gonna be a very exciting time now, because last year we didn't actually do the fantasy football, and it was just weird, especially at the very beginning. I think they started getting it a little bit better towards the end of the year as the playoffs kind of got into play. But I think this year they're gonna do a really good job about it.
I mean, it got complicated because either players were sidelined because of COVID, or COVID protocol, or even I think a game or two was postponed. Yeah, a bunch of them were postponed. I think like a lot of them were based on the Baltimore Ravens that they moved them to like Tuesday night.
Oh yeah.
And so that messed up a lot of schedules for. It's like you don't want to deal with that for fantasy, having to worry if your guys' team's gonna even play.
Yeah, so it's like I don't know. It's just it's gonna be exciting. You guys need to follow along with us. If you guys do, we will have an actual new segment called the Super Fan Zone, in which we'll actually bring actual super fans from all over the place, teams and different stuff like that, to just give us your thoughts, takes, comments, and cheers, honestly, as we continue moving on, not just like for football, I'm sorry, not just for NFL, but also for college as well. As obviously we have a lot of UT fans and a lot of different Texas schools around here in San Antonio, since we're kind of a little bit more of a central area. But I guess we're gonna move on right into. Do you have anything else, Art?
I have some news from around the league.
Okay, go ahead.
Might
Go for it.
might kind of tie in a little bit with fantasy players.
Go for it.
So just one thing that made headlines: Baltimore Ravens. They had a string of injuries that continued on through this Thursday when cornerback Marcus Peters and running back Gus Edwards both suffered season-ending torn ACLs during practice, as per sources. Uh, Peters, he went down with a knee injury first, and then Edwards was injured a few plays later. So Ravens coach John Harbaugh, he called the end of the practice, and so they're already a few pivotal pieces short to even start the season. So if y'all had uh, as the Gus Edwards on your as a running back, you might want to get somebody else. And I think I have the Ravens defense. Gonna miss that cornerback Peters. So that's it for that. Now their rival Pittsburgh Steelers, they signed T.J. Watt to a 4-year, $112 million extension.
I saw
I know he
that.
was kind of complaining he wanted the contract and the money. So the 26-year-old agreed to the 4-year extension. The agreement includes about 80 million in full guarantees. Not bad, uh, considering I have the Steelers in my other league for defense. So it's good to make him happy.
Okay, dude, badass.
Okay, and then lastly, Detroit Lions running back Deandre Swift, who has been slowed down by a groin injury throughout the preseason, expected to be ready to go, no limitations, in their Sunday season opener against the Niners. Lions coaches expressed concerns during training camp about Swift's status, as a groin injury limited his participation in practice and preseason games. But the second-year running back was at full participation in the practice this past Wednesday and Thursday. Swift expected to be the lead back for Detroit this season, with Jamal Williams set to thrive in a strong complementary role. As a rookie, Swift had 114 carries for 521 yards and 8 touchdowns, joining former Line star Billy Sims of 1980s as the only rookie in franchise history to score 8 rushing touchdowns and 2 receiving touchdowns. So Swift also had 46 catches and 357 receiving yards last season. Definitely a nice pick, or a key component to the future of the Detroit Lions, DeAndre Swift. Glad to see him back in action. Shook off the groin injury. Definitely worth the look if you guys need a back. Uh, I don't know if I got him. I hope I do. That's pretty much most of the headlines I had to discuss for the evening. Did you have anything to add more?
No, that should be it for so NFL. We were gonna do some fantasy football tricks and tips, but we're actually gonna do those for next time. So we get a little bit more of a. We're gonna do a little game. So give a little bit more of a game feel to it. And also just because there's a lot of movement I have to do, and I can't do it all.
That's okay. When we get more people involved, we'll start that game. I think it'd be a lot of fun, and especially since we'll get to see how like the rest of the players in the league perform in their season openers, and
Yeah,
that way we
exactly.
can get a more informed as to how things are looking.
Yeah,
So
so
who knows? Maybe Mac Jones, will surprise people, or he'll
ex-
be a dud.
exactly. So we'll go right into the very last part, which should be in this case where we're just gonna just do some World Cup qualifiers for CONCACAF.
Football.
So of course we're gonna do some little bit about some soccer talk. So it's gonna be some soccer world news. Let me just change this real quick. So as you guys know, there is World Qualifiers right now. The World Cup qualifiers. So the World Cup is actually gonna be in 2022. So it's actually coming up right now, coming up pretty quick.
What month of 2022?
It's actually gonna be in, I think, November.
Oh, so we got about over a year more to wait.
Yeah. So it's gonna be it's gonna be a little bit more than a year of wait.
But you did have they were mentioning a proposition for the World Cup.
Oh,
You told me earlier.
Yeah, so along with that, so we're just kind of talk with that. So in this case, like with our it's actually not Gridiron News, but hold on guys, hold on, soccer news. Yeah, just update this real quick.
That's fine. Soccer. What do you call
Uh,
soccer? Or son of the pitch?
wah, wah, wah. There, one left. Okay. So in this case, so World Cup qualifier 2022. So in this case, we do have the U.S. that actually beat Honduras 4-1, and Mexico did actually tie with El Salvador. So right now,
Mexico.
the current standings is Mexico. Mexico is actually leading the 8-team table with 7 points. And it's actually followed by Panama, Canada, and the U.S., which they all have 5 points each. So Mexico is only leading by two. Honduras and El Salvador have 2 points each, which El Salvador got that 2 points with Mexico, tying with Mexico. And Costa Rica has 1 point. Jamaica has none. Um, so right now, only the top three qualify directly for the World Cup. Well, it's actually 3.5 teams. So the half team means that the fourth team is gonna go play a playoff spot.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and usually it's like either New Zealand or Australia. Um, yeah, because it's like that area, that Oceania, Australia, you know, that conference or whatever.
Okay, so in the Pacific.
Yeah. So, anyways, so obviously, congrats to the U.S. For beating out Honduras, getting them a little bit closer. They'll qualify for the 2022 World Cup. That is actually gonna be, like I said, I think it's gonna be in November. I need to double check that with you guys. But
And the location?
that's gonna be in Qatar. Yeah,
Qatar.
that's why it's gonna be during the winter, if you will. A lot of teams are not really happy about it. They're kind of pissed about it, because it's gonna disrupt essentially their domestic league, which makes sense.
Yeah.
But I mean, Qatar, dude, like, I mean, like their regular day over there is like 110, 115, and like, over there it can get like to like 120, 130. Like, nah, dude, that's
Jeez.
not even. That's for what, like.
Your designer Pumas are gonna start melting as soon as you leave the hotel lobby.
Literally, dude, literally, like they have outside air conditioning.
I don't blame them.
Like, I don't even know how that works, but anyways, so yeah, they're apparently some of the stadiums are gonna be high up in, like, in skyscrapers, and I don't know, it's gonna be pretty crazy. But congrats, to the CONCACAF. Hopefully they do, or the U.S. does qualify this time around. They have a pretty good chance. I want to say that it's gonna be Mexico, U.S., and Honduras. Even though Honduras is behind, I don't think Panama has enough juice. But I don't know. We'll see. Maybe Canada. But
USA, USA,
I was gonna
USA.
say, dude, I was gonna say, yeah, we should be. I think the U.S. should be pretty good. With that, I'm just gonna bring a quick news, or just like, I guess, like a highlight. So there was an actual proposal. I don't know what you guys think. In this case, for the FIFA World Cup, to actually change the cycle from 4 years to 2 years. So, as you guys know, the World Cup is actually every 4 years. So it's going to be 2022, and 2024. It's going to be or 2026 is going to be the next one. Continue on. It's one of those things that's always been, it's been going on since forever, for a while. A lot of people are like, "Oh, dude, why 4 years? That's a lot." And the reasoning is because there's a lot of tournaments in between. You have your, Olympics every 2 years, like the Summer Olympics, which, soccer does, have teams there. They have, the individual domestic leagues from each country. Every country has, like, like UEFA has their, Europe. CONCACAF has the Gold Cup. Conmebol, the South Americas, they have the Copa America. So they have like their own individual that they do every 2 years in between. So stuff like that, where like they still have tournaments and stuff and or whatever, but you know, it's kind of I feel like it's like very kind of like the 17th game, like the NFL. It's not so much to give like, I mean, like the whole reason is for more money.
Money.
I mean, like we all know that, but there's like literally no other reason they can say. Whereas over here they're saying like, oh no, like you can't disrupt tradition or whatever. And some people are straight up saying like, no, like you're gonna mess up like the scheduling, you know.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Just what do you think? I think they should keep it as is. They just, I mean, it sounds like a money grab. I mean, there's a lot of logistics involved, dude. Like FIFA is one of the, is the biggest, body of sports, organization for sports or whatever. Cause it has so many leagues, so many teams, so many like craziness. What do you think?
Definitely that just go with, what can produce the most amount of euros. Uh, Going back towards having more frequent World Cups. Uh, I see some pros and cons. Just that, like you said, the players will be conflicted between their own league play versus their national team play.
Yeah.
It'd be like here in the States. You got LeBron James and Luka Doncic.
Yeah,
It's
there we go.
already
Yeah.
towards the end of the season, but then they decide they want to be in a tournament outside of the states. Like, okay, shit. Like now our team sucks again because you want to play a hero for your national team, which is not bad. It's good to have pride in your own nation, but not at the benefit of the fan bases that pretty much helped get you that status in the first place, of being a superstar.
And also,
So,
because I think that soccer is just more global in general, where basketball is global, but just like not as, not necessarily what known, but just as played.
yes.
Because like we're America, right? We're what 320 million or whatever. Dude, there's 7 bill people, in the world. There's a lot of people, lot of mofo's in this planet, right? There is. I mean, there just is. And 300, and they're like, oh well, the NFL, it's the most popular, league. Yeah, dude, in America, we have money. We have chains of money. Don't get me wrong. We have a lot of money, and we invest a lot in the NFL, and it's a $1 billion industry. Todo eso. But it's only like 320 million of us. Ponle like not even half the country. Ponle like 100 million is our fans, right? Of some
Yeah.
sport. Out of those, ponle like maybe 25 million are like super fans, like not diehard, but like damn, like at some 25 million fans. That sounds pretty reasonable. Between but for soccer, dude, there's just so much people. It's just so it's easier to pick up a ball and kick it around rather than like to play organized sport like basketball or football
Yeah.
or stuff like that. And I think that's the reason why um for the
It's a game.
US
Uh huh.
for the
Sorry.
US for basketball, it's kind of like, no, well, we invented it, so we're the best. We just need to show that we're the best. Whereas in soccer, well, damn, like, we're a pretty good nation. We have money, but, we don't have, like, a lot of technique. We don't have a lot of heart into it. Or, like, because, like England, they have the curse, dude. They've only won, like, one World Cup, and it was, like, barely. People talk about it or whatever because they only won 1-0. But they're like, they created the sport, dude. Like, they're literally the founders of, like, they created the sport. Like, but, it's like, dude, you guys made the thing. Why can't you guys, like, win or whatever? And I don't know. It's just, like, the same pressure. The same exact pressure they feel like when during every World Cup. Because they go far. Like, England goes far. Like, England is not a bad team. They just
No.
don't win the World Cup. And I feel like it's almost the same amount of pressure as, like, the U.S. Where like the NBA, well, the NBA is just way far superior than everyone, but everyone is catching up. So we're like the U.S. is kind of like, oh damn, like what's up, bro? I thought you guys were the best, que quién sabe qué. So I don't know. I can kind of like relate it that way. I don't know if that kind of makes sense to you.
No, yeah, I get you. The competition around the world is catching up. The talent. I mean, easily Canada alone, like they had the most NBA players uh, of Canadian birth or Canadian citizenship. Australia, they've been beating up on people. Their basketball team's been beating people. So definitely the competition out there is getting way more talent and efficiency. They're hungry. They always see the U.S. as the top of the hill, kings of the hill. You got to dethrone them. You got to go through them. Now going back to the soccer world, like I said, England. According to you, the game started in England. Didn't like the Aztecs or Mayans have some similar game where they kicked the ball?
I mean, yeah, like
We're not history professors here. It's just
no,
a
yeah, yeah,
guess.
and no, and I mean, at some point, like almost every, um, I guess ancient society or whatever had like some type of version. Not necessarily like football or basketball; those are a little bit more modern kind of versions of stuff. But
Yeah.
definitely soccer. Where like, they had the Mayans. What is it? That circle where you have to like put the ball in some
two big ass hoops on each side, and they have to try to kick it through those hoops.
like some
That's fucking hard.
like some Quidditch shit.
Yeah, we need to bring that back.
Yeah.
By the way, we're after dark already, so we're gonna start cussing.
Oh yeah,
no,
yeah.
No, we're not drinking or nothing. It's after dark. Fourth quarter. Cowboys, Tampa Bay. Good game. We should wrap it up soon. I'm not drinking alcohol because I was a little under the weather. So water, the number one drink in the world, behind nobody, is tea. Tea's the second most popular drink in the world.
There we go.
Suck it, coffee.
All right, guys, we're gonna start getting some party going. Oh. Hold on, let me grab something from here real quick. Ooh, that was nice. I'm sure that was loud on y'all's end. I don't care. Yeah.
I'll give fuck.
Alright, guys. So, welcome to After Dark today and tonight. Of course, we do have superfan art music provided by Studio 13th Day. This is Danny BMD and Mezzo Forte Sportz, and of course, all of our fans, we love you guys. Texas fight, just like the comment said. Cowboys are apparently Super Bowl bound. I don't know. That's what chat is just
you're jinxing it.
Chat is just throwing a whole bunch of stuff in there. We're gonna continue partying tonight, and we'll just go ahead and continue on. I think we're start wrapping up actually pretty soon, but
oh hell yeah, I mean, as much as we love talking to you all at home, and give us your likes, comments, subscribe, hate mail, whatever. We like to see some Cowboys action too, so we want to see some of this fourth quarter, and we don't want to interrupt you watching the fourth quarter neither. So, any closing remarks, Danny, before we tell the folks good night?
No, just like wait, what's the score?
You can't say it. Well, maybe.
Hold on.
It's a one score game. One score game.
Okay,
Fourth quarter just began.
My bad, guys. I was watching it. All right, guys. So we're gonna go ahead and start wrapping it up. We do have After Dark. So just like before we finish, real quick. Let's see real quick. I'm just trying to reading through all my notes, make sure we got everything. So, in this case, we're gonna start wrapping it up. And Art, do you have any just final thoughts?
No.
Right before we start doing our final ending, especially for like college football games.
Just good luck to everybody out there who's participating in fantasy football. Really do your research. Check injuries, questionable or IR. Definitely watch some good college ball, whether you're not a Texas fan or whatever university you root for. There's definitely a lot to watch this coming weekend. Don't forget baseball. Don't sleep on baseball. We're up. It's the postseason. We need all the support for our Houston Astros as they try to hang on to that leader spot. And we'll definitely have some results of this coming weekend. More to talk about on Tuesday. But yeah, thank you for joining us this evening. Danny, anything else you got to say?
No, just again, thank you guys so much for following us. I know it's like a little bit more of a short episode today.
We still talked about a lot of shit though.
We did, yeah. So we'll actually have some. We are gonna go back into YouTube, the YouTube channel. So go ahead and actually look up our highlights. We are gonna start getting a bit more active into our Instagram. So with that, I'll go ahead and start breaking it down. All right, guys. So that's gonna be it for this week's episode. Hope y'all can chill with us next time. Thank you guys so much for following us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Music provided by Studio 13th Day. Graphics provided by Tasmagoria. Obviously, we do have superfan art today. This is Danny BMD saying later, signing off. Good luck on your fantasy week 1. Bringing home art.
Thank you, Dan. Lesson of the day is NFL season openers is about the big showcase. You got the return of the Dak Attack, and you got Tom Brady and the Legend of the Seven Rings. Remember, sports are great, but they mean nothing without you all the fans. This is episode number 63. Until next time, folks, be cool, stay safe, and keep on listening to Mezzo Forte Sportz. Spread out.
Nice. All right.
Go Cowboys.
I think it's off.